Tonight we have chicken with artichokes and roasted potato. I started making this dish back in the summer. It is a nice summer dish, but you know what? It's good for the winter too. And it uses some of my favorite ingredients, which I like using fresh herbs. I love roasted potato. You can't really go wrong with those. And artichokes. Who doesn't like artichokes? Okay, so it's obviously still November. For Movember, I still got the stash, which I'm dying to get rid of. I know, I was starting to love it, but now it's getting to a point where I do want to shave it off. So only a couple more days to go until that happens. But in the meanwhile, here it is. So let's get started, shall we? Now, obviously, we're going to be starting off with the 2 chicken breasts, which would like to get organically and would like to get them fresh from some of the local farms here, which I haven't done yet. Probably this near future I will do that. But in the meantime, Costco is what's supplying us with our chicken tonight. Of course, for this meal, it is chicken artichokes. So part of this, we're going to have some artichokes. I like to use the Alex Campbell, which I get them from Thrifties. They're seasoned in some oil and some herbs. Not too bad. You don't want to get the Unico. I find the Unico ones are very tough and you got to chew through them, and a lot of times you're picking out pieces out of your mouth. We need 1 lemon. We need some shallots. Not a lot of shallots, but we just, maybe 1 should do. A big bulb of that would probably do us just fine. I do have 2, just in case I feel that's not enough. I do like to use a lot of shallots. That flavor is really delicious. We're going to also have to have some fresh herbs. I've got a nice collection here of some thyme, some rosemary, and some sage. Sage is beautiful with chicken. I love sage, and the combination of actually these 3 go really well together. I find rosemary to be more of a beef herb, but does go well with chicken, and together those actually do a nice little package, I find. So being November, I couldn't grow them fresh. I did have to buy them from a grocery store, which is fine, but you do what you gotta do. And of course we do have our russet potatoes over here, which I will be chopping up into nice little chunks and mixing some oil and some salts and herbs, and it's gonna be delicious, and throw those in the oven. So that is our meal plan for tonight. So first of all, of course, you want to make sure that your oven is preheated to a nice roasting temperature. I like to use 400. That's a good roasting temperature, I find, for potatoes. I probably should have done earlier before I started recording, but I wasn't thinking. I want to make sure that all my stuff was in order. So next thing I want to do is I want to get this water boiling, and the reason for that is I'm going to be boiling together my artichokes and lemon. I'm going to put those in a bowl, and I'm going to be mixing those together with... So drain the water that you get from these artichokes. You can use fresh artichokes if you want. You can use whatever. I like to use these ones because they're kind of flavorful. They've been sitting in the soil, so they're nice and tender. Okay, so I got my artichokes drained in my jar. I'm going to be next cutting this onion and an onion. What an idiot! It's a lemon. I'm going to be cutting my lemon in half, and the reason for that is I only need about half of it, and I'm going to be popping this juice right into this bowl here. Just squeeze that in there. Just drain the hell out of this thing. I don't care if I get the seeds in there. It's not a big concern. All I want is that lemon flavor. Right? Soak that right up there. I want to save the other half because what I'm going to be doing is using the zest from this lemon to put on top of the dish when I'm done. Everyone loves potatoes. My personal favorite in the winter are these russets. In the summer I like to use the baby whites. The Yukon Golds are okay, but those baby whites, those summer baby white potatoes, so delicious. But you know what? Even these russets aren't too bad. When I first started cooking, I was all about peeling my potatoes. I didn't like to have the skin on my potatoes. Roasting them, mashing them, whatever. But the older I got, I realized that I love the skin. The flavor is what's... it's got that earthy flavor, and that's just what really brings out the potatoes. So, roasting them, mashing them, whatever, I like to keep my skins on. And, okay, so those are cut. I'm going to add in some olive oil. I've got to have that extra virgin flavoring up. Oh, let's get that slow-mo. I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long. Okay, so the different flavors I'm going to throw in here. Obviously, I'm going to put some fresh ground. Fresh ground is, you gotta have it. Got some sea salt in here. Going to be sprinkling that in there. One of my secrets from my bachelor days, I keep it around Lowry's. You gotta have it. Meant to do that, totally meant to do that. This is candid here, I don't do any editing. It's all for real. Okay, after we throw in the Lowry's, another little secret, poultry seasoning. Delicious on potatoes. People always say, what? But you know what? The more the merrier, kind of say. So we got those potatoes not roasting, but starting to soak in those flavors, especially that poultry seasoning. Oh, that's good stuff. Anything else we can throw in there? Maybe a little bit of thyme. Obviously this thyme is a bit dried, it's not as fresh as those stuff. You know what? I don't mind that in the roasted potatoes. Obviously I want to use my fresh ribs for my chicken, but that's whatever. Got some dry thyme, fresh thyme. Doesn't really matter. Alright, sprinkle the bad boys. There, ovens. This is why I gotta preheat this before the show started, so almost there. You know what, good enough. Okay. Throw them on the bottom shelf. Water's boiling. Let's put in those artichokes. Alright, once you got the water boiling, you're gonna take your artichokes that are in the lemon water, just give those a good stir. They've been soaking for a while in that lemon flavor. Drop that all right into the water there. Let those boil for a little bit. Just want to get nice and soft out before you throw them in with the rest of the dish. Okay, so I want my artichokes in my lemon juice. The potatoes are starting to go. I'm going to start slicing up my chicken. And I want to get into nice, decent sized chunks. I don't want to slice it up too small. The reason for that is because it just kind of, you lose that flavor. And for this type of dish, I'm not needing small pieces. I'm not making a stir fry. You know, good half-inch chunks of chicken. That's what I'd probably use. You can do whatever you want though. It's your dish, but I like to use fairly large chunks. In which case, depending on who you're feeding, like right for this dish, we got 2 people eating this dish, so 2 breasts probably all you need. But I wouldn't mind throwing in a 3rd one just to give it that bountiful amount. Careful, that oil is hot, will burn, and also it'll stain clothes, as I've learned over the years. Oil doesn't come out. It's, once it's in, it's in. Next I'm going to prepare my shallots for putting those in the pan. I'm just going to fire off the ends here, cut them in half, peel those guys back a little bit. And you can cut your shallots any way. I like to be a little stringy, so what I do is I just cut them in halves. And then I just, along the edges, just cut those into those little half rings, which is perfect for this dish, I think. Because they just kind of get strung throughout the whole dish. Awesome. And you know what? I decided I am going to use both shallots on this one. Okay, so I'm throwing my herbs into my pot pretty much just before I pull the chicken out of here. And the reason for that is I don't want to burn the herbs. I just want to kind of cook them a little bit and just kind of let them simmer into those flavors. The chicken and not, oh, it smells so good. So, alright, so I got it sizzling, popping. Get my shallots in there. A little bit of olive oil just to make so it's not so dry. And flavor of the chicken that was in there. Oh, smell this is so good. So good. Okay. So let those guys cook a little bit. So while my shallots are browning, I'm going to take my sage leaves and I'm just going to place them strategically along the top of my chicken. Because what's going to happen is when I'm done my shallots, they're going to go in on top, and then the artichokes are going to go on top of that. So my sage leaves are down. And when that's in the oven, the sage is going to rise up and then the flavors are going to sink down and it's going to be awesome. Anyway, so those are just about ready. I'm going to get my pan here. I'm going to throw my shallots on top. I'm going to spread them out and they're already starting to mate with those sage leaves. They're like, hey, how's it going? Good, you got some flavor? I got some flavor. Let's dance. That's what's happening right now. Dance. Okay, so I got my chicken that's been seasoned and flavored with some herbs. Got that browned nicely, thrown in the pan. I got some brown shallots on top. That's been kind of mixing in with those chicken bits that were in the pan from sauteing. I've got my parboiled artichoke hearts with the lemon juice on top of that, and of course sprinkled with some lemon zest. So that's going to get put in the oven now. I've got it set at 400 degrees. Doesn't really matter. I've got it set for 400 for the roast potatoes. So obviously the potatoes go in first. These guys can go in afterwards. The chicken's pretty much cooked anyway, so this doesn't need to go in for too long. I would say maybe 20 minutes, 25 tops should be fine at 400. So here we go. All right, let's check on everything. So the potatoes are getting wet. Remember, they got oil underneath, so you gotta be careful. If you flip them and pull them over too rough, you're gonna splash oil on your favorite shirt or hockey jersey, as I. It's all gonna go. Can't have a hockey jersey without stains. Usually beer stains, but olive oil, I guess that's not too bad either. There's worse stains out there than that. Just check on the chicken. You don't need to flip it or anything to look at it. Yeah, chicken's probably cooked, but those flavors just to kind of sink in there. And, you can hear the family in the background eagerly awaiting this delicious dish. So, a few more minutes, those are going to cook, roast in the oven, and then I'm going to pull it all out and we're going to feast on it. So hope you enjoyed it, and stick around for the next episode of Cooking with Brettler. I'm sure there'll be something delicious in the works for you. Thanks for watching.